Well, it's a little warmer today, out in the woods again. We're gonna try and call some more coyotes in from this spot because again, I know they're here. From my last video calling here, I can't believe I didn't see one. But now it's there's not a lot of wind. We're on the other side of the bush. And then, I don't know, it's really foggy though. So, I don't know, maybe add to our element of surprise. We'll see how it goes. There's a ton of turkeys right there. And then I think I bumped a couple deer too. I don't really like bumping animals, but if there's any time to do it, like it's mid-February, so I mean we're what, over 9 months from deer season and over 2 months from turkey season. So I mean, I was just in here, there's no way I was in here 2 weeks ago, did the same thing, and as long as it's not a very regular occurrence, they won't care. Like they live here, they're here all the time. And it's not like I'm chasing them or anything, so it is still cool. Like they're walking away, but they're not insanely spooked, so unfortunately they are right where I want to set up to call for coyotes, so I'll just let them do the thing, get out of the way. I'm also just kind of taking my time walking in here. There's a lot more snow this way. This is a south-facing hill, so I mean, it's gonna melt way faster. Look at that rub. Anyways, I know it's still a bit early to look for antlers, but 3 years ago we found one right around here. It kind of depends how hard the winter was, and I mean this has been a pretty rough winter, so the more stressed deer are under, the more likely they are to drop their antlers early. So I don't know, never hurts to look. Walk in here anyway, might get lucky. There's those turkeys again. Coyote down. There he goes. That'll get you on. I was watching over to my left because to my right is just kind of a field edge. I didn't expect anything over there. I looked down and there's no way he's 20 yards away. And as you saw, he jumped that little creek and yeah, smoked him. I'm gonna give this another 5 minutes and see if another one comes in. That shot might have freaked him out. 99% freaked out anything else that's cruising around here, but I know there's a lot in here, so. Oh, it's been another 10 minutes. Not really surprised that another coyote didn't come in. Well, yes and no. It's like, it's peak mating season, so they're usually, where there's one, there's 2 or 3 more. In this case, that might have been like the lead, I don't know, maybe it was on its own, but if there was any other ones, they were probably cruising the field edge too, and obviously they heard that shot and they're out of here. That being said, I don't know why I said I was surprised that it came from the way it came from, because now the more I think about it, the wind is coming this way towards that field edge. So I would almost treat coyotes like bucks during the rut, in the sense that bucks will cruise an easy path downwind of doe beds, so they can just basically scan a larger area with their nose and go in and breed them if they're in heat. smell that. Coyotes do essentially the same thing, but for prey. So that coyote was probably cruising this entire field edge and just letting the wind do the work for them. And then if they smelled a rabbit or anything else, they'll check it out. In this case, obviously you heard a rabbit, our call, and came right in. So I got not a short walk, but not a long way. It's a decent walk back to the car. I'm gonna take my stuff back and then come back and we'll get the coyote. Took my stuff back to the car. I'm almost back to the coyote now. This cornfield, I would like to think I'm looking for sheds, and I am. But if you can find a shed in a cornfield, that's got to be legendary eyesight and or luck, because they just blend right in. So it's pretty mucky out here too. There's a lot of deer tracks out here. That's a big one. Like, I know with it melting, it'll make it look a little bit bigger than it actually is, but you can kind of tell how fresh some of the tracks are by how sharp, that's pretty rounded, by how sharp the front of their hooves are, I guess. Oh, there's a turkey. Yeah, there's a ton of animal tracks out here. They're all looking for leftover corn. All right. This is a really steep hill. It's somewhere around here. Oh, I see it. I don't know if you see it. Hang on. I'll get down there closer. This is steep and next level slippery. Okay, we're almost there. Oh, almost went down. Okay, there we go. Whoops. Oh, look at that. That's an old one too. I was just looking at this path as we're walking up on the coyote right there. No way. What a find. Oh, it's old. You can see the mice and squirrels are starting to get at it. See that? Wow. All right, well, hey, that's coming home with that bonus find. There's no way I just found that. What are the chances? Awesome. All right, well, here's the coyote. That looks pretty big. That's got to be a male. Here he is. I got him home. Big mangy old male, and he stinks. Oh, down here. So the pelt, I'm gonna skin him now. I'm unsure of whether I'm actually gonna save it. I'm definitely gonna save his head. The pelt he's rough looking, but so I think I probably will. But this is gonna be my first time skinning one completely on my own, no extra help. So I'm not gonna film that. We'll pick it up again when I have the head out, because we're gonna boil that down and get like a fully intact coyote skull. Okay, so I got my burner here, pot of water. I want to show the head. I think it's really cool. It is pure nightmare fuel though for most people, so I guarantee YouTube would not post this if I put that in there. Anyways, we're gonna put this in and cook it until the meat is fall off the bones, so probably about 4 hours. It has been officially 4.5 hours of this thing simmering on low, and it looks disgusting. Yeah, that's a boiling pot of nastiness. But it's time to dump it out and see how clean we can get this thing. Okay, here is the semi-finished product. So that's looking pretty cool so far. So that's just out of the pot. So I'm gonna try and clean it up as best I can with a knife. And then we'll see if we even have to really pressure wash it, but the meat's just kind of falling off here, so we'll see what we can get away with. And this is the point I got to so far. So for those of you that don't know, the only thing holding this together is actually muscle matter. So it inserts like in there. It's basically his jaw muscles. But this is no water, no pressure washer yet. I would say that came out pretty clean. But it's getting late. I'm gonna pressure wash it another day or rinse it. I would say I could go without, but that nasal cavity is a problem. You're not getting all that out without water, so. Anyways. All right, we'll pick this up again another day. It's been a few more days. I thought it was warmer than it was outside. I'm gonna try and use the pressure washer now. We'll see how that goes. It looks like it might be frozen. But first things first, I have to get the brain out of the head. So we're gonna do that right now with what I call an oscillating tool. Yes, that smells just as bad as it looks, possibly even worse. All right, next step. We got the skull in the house now. It's as clean as I can get it with the power washer. So the next step is adding a bleaching agent for the night. What we're using is this paste, which is a mixture of hydrogen peroxide and Salon 40. So the idea is that this has a bleaching agent in it, but the hydrogen peroxide is a lot stronger of a bleaching agent. So you want to make a pretty thick paste so that this will allow the peroxide to stick on the skull and not be too runny and run off. Pardon the mess. Getting this organized is still a work in progress. Anyways, it's the next morning. We're gonna check out this coyote skull. So I have like a little laundry tub set up here. Obviously we have to rinse off the residue of the paste that's left over from last night. So let's see how it turned out. There's the bottom jaw. That is a nice, brilliant white. So, okay, to be fair, I got a little lazy with power washing this. So the temperature swings have been crazy right now. So it got really cold, too cold for me to use it. So I left some pieces on, more than I probably should have. But this is just going in the garage anyway. It should be fine. And this bleaching should kill 99% of the scent and whatever else. I'll try and scrape off a little more, but that's bottom jaw turned out okay. Put that there. Let's check out the top. There we go. Now that is cool. That's perfect. Way better than the condition I left it in last night. So, okay, here's the finished product. As good as I'm gonna get it anyway. Good enough for me. Good enough for the garage. That is wicked cool. So 2 separate pieces. Whoops. Still a little wet. All right, so there it is. There's the top, bottom. I'm gonna do a little more cleaning up, but that's pretty much good. So it's pretty crazy how it just goes. Oh, hang on. I gotta remember those bottom teeth go in front of the big teeth. There we go. Now that looks cool. I never would have thought that's what a dog skull looks like. Because how would you know? Unless you're like a vet or something, so. That was the second skull I've put through that entire cleaning, bleaching process, whatever you want to call it. This is the first one. That was a buck I shot back in November for gun week. So that was kind of my practice round. It turned out great. One last note, when you're bleaching, if you want to do anything like this, so put your bleaching agent on, like the paste, leave it overnight. If you don't like how white it is the next morning, rinse it off and then do it again the next night to get however, you know what I mean? It'll get more and more bleached the more you do it, but I wouldn't just like put that on in a copious amounts and leave it for 4 days because it might actually start breaking down the bone. So just be careful of that. Anyways, thanks for watching.